But
Very
you know
true.
what's next, right? The new the new Q handheld by Sony. So this article comes from The Verge, and it is from Jay Peters and Sean Hollister, who we've covered several times. And essentially, what the story is about Sony's new Q handheld is official. It's an 8-inch screen and it streams PS5 games. So Sony's Project Q, is what it's now being labeled as, is a portable device and is coming later this year to remote play games from your PlayStation 5 over Wi-Fi. So Sony has officially confirmed it's working on a PlayStation handheld to make it easier to play your PS5 games. It was announced during Wednesday's PlayStation Showcase and is called Project Q. We're going to drop into the PlayStation Showcase at the end of this podcast, so stick around for
True.
that. So this is a direct quote from PlayStation boss Jim Ryan, and he said during the PlayStation Showcase, "We will launch a dedicated device that enables you to stream any game from your PS5 console using remote play over Wi-Fi. Internally known as Project Q, it has an 8-inch HD screen and all of the buttons and features of the DualSense wireless controller. Now, more specifically, it'll have an LCD screen running games at up to 1080p 60 frames per second over Wi-Fi, according to a Sony press release. And it will feature both the adaptive, it'll feature the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback of the DualSense. The Q handheld is set to launch later this year, just like the PlayStation Bluetooth earbuds announced Wednesday. The Sony didn't say exactly when or how much the new device might cost. Don't you love it when they don't mention those?
I love it, dude. It's my favorite. Yeah,
Go
so
in
good.
blind.
And it's like releasing in November. I love it, Mike. I love it.
That's so far away. All right, so according to the fine print at the bottom of Sony's presentation, games you play on the Q must be installed on a PS5 controller itself. It apparently designed as a companion for your own PS5, not something that would play games natively like a Steam Deck or a phone or even stream them from the cloud.
Hmm.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's
I had some
tough.
opinions on that when I first saw it. I will say, but we can continue on with the article if there's more to read.
Yeah. So, however, Sony is one of the foremost companies with a cloud gaming service. One it currently seems to be overhauling based on the many job postings we dug up. So it's possible that the Q adds cloud gaming at a later date. It would seem weird to omit services that make Sony more money. Sony's brief tease didn't address whether you'd be able to use the Q to stream games outside of your house. Sony's Remote Play does currently support connections over cellular, though you might need to tether it to a phone or a hotspot since Sony has only mentioned Wi-Fi. Hmm. I don't
Yeah,
think that would work very well, to be honest.
yeah, no, it wouldn't. Yeah, jeez. I mean,
Yeah.
because like when I first saw this, I was like, oh, like because like they're first showing it in the in like the presser, it's like, oh yeah, this is like really cool. Like I mean, it looks like because like when I first saw it, I immediately thought it was like a Switch with like PlayStation controller Joy-Cons because it's kind of what it looks like.
It really does.
But yeah, but I mean, look, I mean, the idea of like a handheld I can play PlayStation games on, dude, I love that idea. Just because like I think it's I mean, just it's essentially a Switch for Sony, and you could like just play the games wherever you feel comfortable. And obviously, with the handheld market popping off the way it is with the Steam Deck and the Rogue like Ally and stuff like that, with all these devices, Logitech. I mean, it's like we're moving more towards handheld, which is awesome.
Oh,
Obviously,
definitely.
Switch leading that charge if we want to like get serious about it. I mean, obviously we've had like the PSPs and all that in the past, but like full fledged consoles, Switch really started that, and then now a lot of people are trying to catch up on like a PC based sort of handheld. But I mean, yeah, PlayStation. I think it's something PlayStation doesn't have a market in anymore with no like mobile or handheld like devices. Like, there's remote play, which yeah, you can play like on other devices, but I mean, I think the idea of having this, I really like it. I think what I don't like is the fact that it's like you need a PS5 for it. And it's like it's I don't know because there's certainly a market out there with people that want to play like PS5 games mobily and don't necessarily want to fork out like $500 for PlayStation. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, there's that market there, and it's just it doesn't appeal to that market at all. It's only people that own a PlayStation. So, um, again, love the idea of mobile gaming. I just wish that maybe this was like its own standalone thing. Granted, if you're adding like cellular and stuff like that, that's a whole other thing. But I mean, and the price point would reflect it. But yeah, I mean, also I don't. It's gonna come down to the price too, of what they actually end up like placing this at. Because if it's like if for some reason this is like a $300 device, like they're never gonna hear the end of it. I mean, it's just like it's
I
gonna
think
be
it might
rough.
be. I think it might be a $300
I
device,
just
man.
yeah, more people are going to be more pissed off. I mean, needless to say, but um, look, I love the idea and the fact that I mean, and what's making me think it could be 300 is not only like but like the display's LCD too. It's not even like an OLED or anything like that. So it's kind of like, maybe they're cutting costs there, which I could see. But I mean, it is technically a PS5 controller at the very least, right? With just the adaptive triggers and
Exactly.
everything. So I mean,
Exactly.
we know it's at least going to be probably 150. So I mean, yeah, but honestly, if I had to guess, my prediction would probably be like 200, 250. But it sounds, I don't know, it sounds like to you, Mike, that it could that 300 is a total possibility for a device like this.
I definitely think it's a 300 price range, man. I think they'll probably bundle it with their wireless earbuds.
Yeah, the wireless
That
earbuds. Don't
they
get me
look
wrong.
ugly, man.
Not only
They
that,
do not look
but
comfortable
like, dude, what is
at all.
what? All right, what is Sony, specifically PlayStation's track record with audio devices? Now the new headsets and stuff.
That's a
Obviously, like I
fact.
don't know much about their new headsets. I mean, they could be good, but it's like, but like in the past, I don't feel like they have a really solid foundation when it comes to audio. So it makes me more skeptical about these. Um, and yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's more than obvious that it's meant to be paired with the handheld, right? And that's kind of why they're marketing them together. Because like, if you get that, well, you want some privacy, you can get some earbuds, like truly wireless earbuds. Which is a new thing now, but yeah, I mean, I like the case and everything. I'm curious how those would actually look in ear. Like, I feel like they just look weird. But
They don't look comfortable. They don't look like they're made for the ear.
yeah,
But I mean, I could be wrong. This
yeah.
is like
I
a
mean, I don't
render,
know.
right?
Yeah, I know when
3D
I
model.
first like you know what's so funny too? Whenever like before they even announced like this was like a handheld with the PlayStation and stuff like that, almost like I was like looking at the PlayStation they show on the left hand side of this like screen, which I'm showing right now. I was looking at that and I was like, that like is that a smaller like PlayStation of some sort? Like is that a stream box? Because like compared to the actual controller thing itself, I mean,
Oh,
the
that's
controller,
definitely smaller.
yeah, I mean, the controller's like huge, and I'm like, it just didn't make sense. I was like, it'd be cool if this is like a streaming device and it was a cheaper, variation of a PlayStation. And you just have like this little box that you could stream from, and you can just take a little handheld. Obviously, there's no place to actually place it like a Switch or anything like that. So I mean, it was pretty obvious, pretty quick that this was kind of a separate thing. But um, yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I definitely wish, and I hope in the future there'd be a way that you can possibly just use this only as like a streaming device for PlayStation games. So if you want to still stay in the ecosystem, you can have a handheld device where you can stream the games to over Wi-Fi, over like a remote play, and just like play like PS Now or something on it, right? And just have like those games at your disposal. That'd be awesome. And if and I clearly there's no, it seems like there's no room for like storage or anything like that. There's no way to like add storage to the device. Which probably would also cut down on cost. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, I don't know. I just wish this was something else at the end of the day, and that's kind of where my head's at when it comes to this announcement.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of view it more like it's just a tablet with a controller next to it. A tablet, like
Yeah,
a streaming tablet only.
right.
And if so, let's try to like figure this out logically, right? So, like, what's the PS5 DualSense Edge controller? How much does that cost? $200.
Yeah, DualSense. Yeah, the Pro controller. Yeah,
Yeah, I think this is a screen. It's a little bit more complicated than a controller. So I'm expecting it to be at least 250, $300 with the markup and the fees and everything included.
yeah, that's a good point.
I
I
wouldn't buy it.
I forgot what they were pricing the DualSense Edge on, but also, I mean, there's swappable joysticks and stuff. Obviously, they're not going to do that for something like this, but that's a good point.
That's
That's
true.
something I didn't think
That's
about.
true.
Um, yeah, was curious to see what the price is, but obviously, it's not a PS5 owner. Even if I had a PS5, I mean, to be truthful, I probably wouldn't buy this just because, like, if I'm playing my PS5, I'm just normally gonna play like, you know, at
Yeah.
something. Um, but I mean, I don't know the idea of mobile gaming. Like, if I started playing my Switch more and I really love that, and I had a PS5, it's like, okay, well, this could be a way to play in bed. There's definitely. I'm not saying there's not a market for it, but guys, just I wish this was something else. And I think, and for Sony's case too, I wish this was something like different because I think there's a lot of. I mean, just like they say in the article, there's a lot of missed opportunity here by not making this like a general
A
device that's
dedicated.
that's
Yeah.
outside of the PlayStation 5 kind of realm.
Well, the thing that's annoying is like we heard rumors about a Sony handheld coming out for a while, and everybody just automatically assumed it was like a PSP or
Yeah,
something
something like that.
going along those like that route, and it's not. It's basically like a handheld device, but it's stream only, and you can only do it in your house, and hopefully you have good Wi-Fi and you don't have interference from neighbors. If you're
Hmm.
like more people live in apartments and closed housing, right?
Yeah,
So
it's true.
it's kind of crazy. But I don't see the appeal when you can go get something like the Steam Deck or the
Yeah,
Nintendo Switch or the Asus ROG Ally, and like there's like what 2 or 3 other ones that we've covered just in the last 6 months.
yeah. And
Like
PlayStation moving a lot of their original IP over to PC, right? Guess what? You'll probably
100%.
play that on a Steam Deck. So I
Definitely,
mean, it's
definitely.
like, yeah, yeah. The market for this is certainly small. The fact that you need the console itself already like drastically lowers it. So I don't know. I mean, we'll
Exactly.
see. I mean, maybe it's maybe it's a solid device, and I hope for Sony's sake that it is. But yeah, I think overall it's kind of just I don't know. Then I have this guy over here.
Yeah, we'll see how it is when they end up dropping, the price, and then we can find
Um,
out.
yeah, yeah, and we'll know by then. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's hard to be optimistic over something like this, especially with the position Sony's in and everything. So we'll see.
I think I'm not gonna rule it out completely. I'm just gonna
I mean,
say,
yeah,
my initial thoughts are they could have went a different route and made it better. And we're just speculating on the price right now, so we can't be too egregious.
yeah, it's
Like,
true.
so we'll see. We'll see.